Joe and Paul here on
First day of spring.
first day of spring. What day is it here? It's Thursday,
20th.
the 20th?
March. Yep.
Is that the 20th or 21st? No, it's the 20th. 20th of March.
Alright.
2014 at 5:05 or 17:05 Eastern Daylight Time here. So here we are. Now Paul and I have been sort of reminiscing here a bit and shooting the breeze, which I'd like to reconstruct, but unfortunately, you know, it's very much like, you know, the wind bloweth whither it knoweth not, and cometh forth from whither it knoweth not, and so no real point pursuing it, except for figuring out what might be next in the situation that you need to have dealt with. Now, tomorrow, which would be March 21st, Joe is, I love Paul's eyes.
I'm thinking of the cab driver's wedding reception we went to.
Oh, well, we can talk about that in a moment. But you know, I am going to go to the funeral of a man. This man was my band director. He died on March 17th, and he died on March 17th, and his funeral is tomorrow. Now, I didn't get notification of his visitation early enough to go down there and do it properly, but I'm not into visitations. I'm more into going to the funeral service, as you may have gathered. So I'm actually going to leave my lair tomorrow, or at least the plan is I'm going to leave my lair tomorrow and go down and go to this man's funeral. He was our band director, and his two sons, the one fellow was a year ahead of me, and the other fellow was a year behind me, and I got thinking about the older guy. I ran into the older guy many years later after high school at a bar up at Ohio State, and he was relating a story about an individual who is now very prominent in the New York music scene, and has been prominent in the New York music scene for many, many, many years in the the opera music scene.
Half your face is cut off.
Well, did I? Paul says half my face is cut off. Let me see here. Well,
I've only seen you from like about here down.
oh, he's right. Oh, son of a bitch here. Well, let's just. Well, his as I showed you his picture, he died on March 17th, and his funeral is going to be tomorrow. The visitation is tonight, between 6 and 8. Well, obviously, I'm not going to go to that. And he's 93 and a half. 93 and a half. God bless him. One can only hope that they live so long. You know, assuming that you're fairly sensate and functional, and as I understand it, this guy was. He was very active in the Episcopal Church and got, well, you know, some little laudates from that organization. I guess that depends on if you respect that organization, doesn't it? And his wife did too. Now I never met his wife many times, very often. I think I may have met her just once, actually. Paul's getting the skies here now while I'm telling the story. And good for him, because that's probably the right attitude. Back in the late 80s, or maybe very early, probably it's very early 90s. It's hard to remember. More scanning of the sky. My mother had taught first grade for over 25 years. Well, 25 years in Lebanon, Ohio. And there was some sort of teaching award or memorial award or whatever they were going to give her. And she actually asked me to come down and go to the ceremony. Well, hell, I mean, you know. I think I must have still been working. Was it? Do you remember when I did this, Paul? Well, you might maybe if you listen to the story. Maybe not. Hell, I don't remember all that much. But I went down there, and it was around 7:30 at night. You know, when it started, which meant that I had to leave here in the middle of rush hour. And got down there, and then there was this lot. You know, I didn't realize this was going to be appended to the back end of a public school board meeting, which went on for about an hour and a half before they finally got to the point of this. But it was interesting to see which self-important behinds had projected themselves up into prominence, you know, while I had been out of town. You know, some of whom were quite unexpected, and some of whom, you know, were very much expected as I had grown up around them. It wasn't a small town then. I mean, you're talking about 20, 25, 30,000 people. But on the other hand, there was still a certain amount of small town mentality that tries to grab hold of people. So, Mr. Donovan, who at that time was on the school board, and you know, gave this award to my mother, and that was very kind of him and the school board to do that. I would have far rather that they honored my dad for 40 years of teaching, but you know, maybe name something after both of them, you know. But anyway, they selected her, and that's fine. And she certainly taught a lot of people to read, and including myself, much to her regret. And so no, it was great. And you know, so that's the last time I saw Mr. Donovan at that ceremony. Of course, then I drove home, and then I had to work the next day at 6:30 in the morning. I don't think I harmed anybody by my being dead tired, but No, it turned out to be a very benign day. I didn't have a lot of, really difficult cases. But anyway, no, this guy was great. The unfortunate thing was he had a daughter that was 3 years younger than the younger brother, and she had gone to a high university, and she'd been walking across campus at a high university when a sudden thunderstorm, blew through, as they do sometimes in June of any year in Ohio, and knocked a lightning strike, knocked a tree limb down on her and killed her. Well, the guy never really got over that. I mean, I've always thought the worst thing in the world that can happen to a guy or an individual or woman, man, is to have a child predecease them. It's just awful. There's no way to describe it. I imagine the people that have gone through it can't describe it. I know I can't describe it, and I hope to God I never have to. So, it's a lot of fun. It's not a lot of fun that he died, but it might be interesting to meet some of these guys again that I grew up with. But given how many people showed up for my dad's funeral, lined up down the street. This is going to be a packed house. I'm convinced this is going to be a packed house, so I need to get myself down there early on to get it. See, I want to get a seat in the church, and hell, I know the liturgy, I know the hymns. I'll be able to sing. I doubt seriously it's going to be some sort of free-form nonsense. But we'll see, I'm probably going to go see my dad and my mom over at the cemetery. I may drive out past the house in Lebanon, but I'm going to try to be sure. I just pull off on the right of way. I don't want to go in the driveway because I know my brother-in-law's probably got cameras set up so that if I go in there, I'll get nailed for trespassing. I'm going to do that. So. We'll see. I might not do that. I may do that. That's the plan of attack for tonight at any rate, guys. Anything else you want to say, Paul?
No. No, I don't have anything.
Well, there we are. We'll soldier on.
Have a good night.